Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear.
Let's just try this all again.
You mean we don't do this professionally for a living?
Exactly.
Shocking.
Exactly. Sorry about
So
that.
I'll take the initial blame for this because I was trying it. I was excited, man. I had a new computer. I was ready. I was raring to go, and just something didn't work out right.
And I'll take the secondary blame because I had two feeds going on in my ear and I was going crazy. And I thought it was, I had two feeds going on from the mothership here, but I had YouTube going on in another. I don't know. I'm just.
And
It's
as
fine
always,
now.
I was pure as the driven snow.
Yeah. Well, Celia found us. See who else finds us.
Celia.
We got two people in the room. Someone else found us. Who else found us? Savannah found us. All right.
I feel like I need a hollowed out lollipop. I see Celia and I see Savannah.
So, but besides you and me in this room, who knows what you're talking about? Todd, do you know what he's talking about?
I don't believe.
Yeah. The rumpus room.
I don't know.
Hello, Laura. Welcome.
Laura.
I got to get the chat on so I can see who's talking.
Well, it should come in on the bottom of your screen. Do you see it?
Ooh,
Nope.
I do not.
I never see it.
There, she's on my chat now.
Yeah, show my chat, but I never did, nor do I think I ever will see the stuff on my screen that everybody was seeing last time.
It's a myth.
Well, I figured since I invited you all to be on the team and you accepted my invite to be on the team.
Maybe when I get the new computer up and running, I'll be able to. But right now, I see nothing. Uh-oh.
Hello, Samantha. John.
But I don't need to see it. I got it on the chat.
John Barney.
Sup, John? Hi,
Samantha
Laura.
with us. Hello.
Samantha.
All right. Now we're up to 7, boys. It's cooking.
Right.
Now.
Yeah.
Building it back up.
It's filling up. It's filling up.
What does Brady say incorrectly? Cooking with whatever he says wrong. Cooking with grease or
Cooking with grease.
Yeah.
I say cooking with grease. Is that wrong?
Oh. Well, I'm going way back to one of the first episodes. I thought one of us was saying it wrong, and it wasn't me.
I'm pure as the driven snow.
I think it was Aric. I think it was Aric that said cooking with grease, and Brady and I were saying it was you're cooking with. What's the other one? Cooking with gas. Yeah, cooking with gas.
Cooking with gas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grease is correct. Grease is
I don't
correct.
think it is because like you have to do something with the grease to heat it up. Grease by itself just gets all gelatinous, and you got to keep it in a coffee can on the back of your stove.
Celia says it's cooking with gas. That's what she says.
Yeah, it is cooking.
So she says.
That's what she said.
Yeah, we agree for once, Celia. It's cooking with gas because you would need the gas to cook the grease or some sort of.
Polling the room. Celia says cooking with gas. Brady,
Brady says gas, I think.
I know I said grease.
Oh, okay. Well, this is going to be like the barnacle thing. You guys are going to be wrong. And then Aric's going to find one person out there in the entire internet.
It says cooking with saffron oil. They're going to have something very specific and which reminds me that I heard a joke and I cannot take claim to it, but man, it hit so I took a poll and 10 out of 10 people in the tent were unhappy. And it made me chuckle. So.
Yes. Okay. Midwesterners say cooking with grease. So, Celia, I was under the impression you were a Midwesterner from the time you were born. A Russelvillian.
It should be cooking with Crisco. Then you get the alliteration in there, too.
Well, that's true. Never heard that.
Cooking
but
with Crisco. Yeah.
Maybe we start that. So, anyone else in the room of a certain age? Maybe it's an age thing. John Barney, you're a veteran of life. What do you say? Cooking with grease, cooking with gas,
cooking with fire.
Russellville is a little bit further south, though. Maybe that's what it is. But Todd's a Sardinian. He should say it correctly. Grease. There's a Reddit thread about that saying. A whole Reddit thread.
Goodness.
Well,
here's a topic.
Reddit's, yeah.
Then the
Maybe
communists have it right, according to them.
I was going to say something on Reddit's not communist.
No.
All right. 10 people in the room now. So if you haven't signed in, please do so or linger about in the shadows. It's all good.
So see, Metallica says, give me fuel, give me fire. They don't say, give me grease, give me
John
whatever.
Travolta and Olivia Newton-John do.
What does that have to do with the price of bread in Walsburg?
Because you need something to heat the grease. Therein lies the gas. Well, you need something to fuel the heat.
Well, just because you're cooking with grease doesn't mean you're actually heating it. Have heated it up when you make the saying. It's like, hey, I'm going to cook this. I'm going to use grease. I'm cooking with grease.
James, what is it? James, thank you, James. It's cooking with gas. And that makes sense because cooking with gas is easy. It's like an easy as pie thing or a piece of cake type thing.
Well, Jim's from Claremont County. Like he's not. He's a suburbanite. Like, what do they know? This is
Laura, thank you.
Heard cooking with
this feels very much like the Barnacle debate. that has a ring to it. The Barnacle. That sounds official. The Barnacle debate.
Well, Celia says that cooking with grease is also an acceptable
Midwesternism.
saying.
She's backpedaling.
No, she's being truthful. She's being truthful and not hateful like you.
Now that's be impolite and no etiquette.
I just remembered back. I think it was the first or second episode we had that discussion. It was in your house.
It was in my house.
Yeah,
in my house.
Whose house?
My house. All right. So, Brady, I won't ask about your name down there.
Been a week. It's just been a week.
You know,
I feel like one of those Pony Express ponies that I was put to the barn wet. I just want some hay and oats.
Now, I've changed my name from Captain or Bubble Eye to Captain Cataract because now I'm told. Well, I think I may have said this way back that my surgery causes a cataract. So now that's the next step in the process. I get cataract surgery. My little bubble in my eye is still there, but it's like barely visible. It's like I have to look down to see it now, but it should be gone within a few days, and then I have that to look forward to. And whenever I had cataract surgery, what's my outlook there?
Before I start, and I don't want to trouble you, Aric or Todd, but the historian has chimed in and said something's going on with YouTube. When we left the first time, it was fine, but when we came back, the feed's not working right.
It's probably a different feed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Can't load a feed from the YouTube app. So
it's probably a different feed because I had to make a different.
So he needs to log out.
He needs to log out of where he is, and there may be another one somewhere. I don't know what YouTube looks like with this. I've never done it. So it's like me trying to talk people through this. I can only see from the mothership here. I only know what that looks like. I don't know what any other. I've been told cataract surgery is much like the laser eye surgery I had 24 years ago. It's pretty simple, 10 to 15 minute sort of thing. But
yes.
And eventually I should be perfect vision in the eye, but it's a road. It's a long road to hoe. Now, there's a saying. Some people say long road to hoe, but the saying is actually long road to hoe. It's like hoeing in your garden.
Yes, gotcha. Because the other one would have a totally different meaning.
Indeed. Indeed. So Savannah had to go out and refresh her YouTubes. So she found it that way.
There's some lighting issues going on. While you guys are talking, I'm trying. So like we went from my new computer, which like you guys said, I looked like I was on a security camera. But
I couldn't
now
tell
I'm
because
getting
I have a
these-
cataract. So
Well,
maybe that was me. I don't know.
no, I'm getting like I don't have these. Like I'm looking. See how it keeps going from, and it's giving me like the opposite of raccoon. It's like white here and red here. But then I look at my. I don't
It's
have
the
that. So
anti-raccoon.
I don't know what's going on.
Raccoon.
I look like I'm wind burnt. Maybe I did get a little wind burned.
Could
I'm
be.
gonna try to change my lighting up. That's worse. That's a little better, maybe.
All right.
Anywho.
Anywho. So visit our outlets up top here. You can see on our banner. We're on Facebook, X, and Instagrams. You can listen and watch on YouTube's, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Twitch,
Rumble.
Rumble, and the iHeartRadio app and iHeartRadio.com. You can find us there. Among other places, you can find audio podcasts. We're in a lot of different places. But hello, Mama Liming.
Did I miss you? Did you read where Nancy said she had cataract surgery? I was messing with my lights.
I did not.
I think my mom had cataract surgery too.
Yes, not too bad, she says. I'm looking forward to the perfect vision. Never. Maybe I had that when I had the laser eye surgery for a bit, but then I got back to reading glasses, which they said I would, and I did. So this should cure all of it. So
Cure all
looking
ills.
forward to it.
You'll be like a cyborg.
Cyborg. All right. So have a couple topics tonight. I think Brady's going to start us off. Correct?
Well, I have always been an etiquette guy.
Real quick, can I chime in? I wanted to say something before and I forgot. We were so discombobulated. So
Flummoxed.
I went to Dayton the other day, to Wright State, and Say and I are looking for a place to go have lunch while Riley's doing like master classes at Wright State there. And
in Fairbairn.
In Fairbairn, yeah. We were in Fairbairn at Hare. And if you look, can you see my hat?
It's backwards.
Is it? Oh, how do I get it forwards?
You'd have to get a mirror view.
Yeah, you got to mirror your videos.
I don't want to do that.
Which might cause everything to blow up.
Right. I better not. So it was a place called the Wandering Griffin. And you almost have to eat at a place called the Wandering Griffin when your last name is Griffin.
I think so.
Yeah,
Did you get your meal free? You should have gotten
I did not.
Free.
We asked him if we get a discount because of our last name, and the girl just kind of laughed like she didn't believe us. But then when I gave her my card, she should have been able to see that our name was Griffin. But anyway, so if you ever find yourself, it's right across from Wright State. It's a little microbrewery. Very good, tasty food. Had some nice poutine. Some poutine with a fried egg on it.
Pass on the egg.
You don't like eggs now?
Well, no, just not on my poutine.
Oh,
poutine.
It's a bit much.
All right, Mama Liming says, Brady face. Is that what you call him? I never heard you say that.
No, I actually think
it's Brady's
face.
To
translate, yeah.
Brady's face is first, yeah. I like Brady face better.
Brady face. Is that like RBF resting Brady face?
Yeah, what does that look like?
Oh man!
All right, well, let us know if that doesn't clear up, Mrs. Liming. Let us know because she says I'm frozen too.
Frozen.
So, yeah, I will say this: with since we switched to this new provider, there does seem to be a lot more glitches, but it usually works itself out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. What did you just do, Celia? They can't see it, but I can see it and hear it. So
this stuff? They're just messing with us, Brady.
It made this sound like when her name popped up in the upper left hand corner and with some symbol.
I don't know. Emoji or something.
I don't know.
Brady,
what it was.
I feel like it's them against us, man. They're doing something.
They probably got us going through a filter where we have horse faces or something.
Well,
we're having a party and you're not invited.
You said something about Hay and Oats earlier. I was going to say I was a hell of a group, Hay and Oats.
Even though they don't like each other.
He's a hay eater. But anyway,
I believe I like Rich Horse. That's a good name for that's a good song.
Private mules are watching. Anyway, so we are going to be
I
talking
wish I
about
knew more horse lingo. We'd have a lot more jokes if we knew more horse lingo, but I know no horse lingo. I'm not
at least I
schooled
do
in the
better on
lingo of
nautical.
horse.
So I've always been a fan of etiquette, and in the Daily Cincinnati Enquirer, I would always read Miss Manners because it was kind of like a forerunner to Am I the Anus? But
Yes, it
because
was.
people would, hey, am I wrong for thinking this? But this got us to thinking of some old school. This was from a list of 50 unspoken social rules of etiquette. And
Okay.
how many of these do we follow? Or worse
Do
yet,
we
how many of them do
follow?
we speak of because they're unspoken?
Are we talking about just the three of us, or are we talking about society in general?
Oh, we're talking about society.
Yes, we have our listeners. We have us. We'll see what everybody says because some of these, they're just not debatable. They are ingrained, but some of these might have gone out a little bit. Maybe not as poignant as they used to be. So,
Okay. First of all, are we breaking the rules by speaking of these since they're unspoken?
got to use telepathy to get them to you.
And second of all, who gave Miss Manners the authority? How is that bequeathed upon someone? You are Miss Manners.
Mr. Manners.
Mr. Manners.
Yeah.
What was their name? So that is saying that men are oafs.
It's sexist.
Just
we won't stand for it.
exactly.
Can I tell you where it probably comes from? And I don't know anything about Miss Manners, and I know she's since passed away. I forget what her name is, but she is probably here's an antiquated term. She is probably a charm school graduate or professor of what they used to call charm schools and social etiquette and debutante rules and things like that. What'd you say?
Probably
Nothing. No.
So
nothing.
What?
Nothing.
I'll say it again.
Nothing.
Debutante.
So
I like that word, debutante.
Debutante. What's the male version?
Not used in current lexicon enough at all.
No.
Debutante sounds like a Garbage Pail Kids character.
It does. No, Debbie. All right. So shall we hit the list now that we've gotten all of our bugs out? Number one. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's just mix this up a little bit. Number one is obviously don't interrupt someone mid-sentence. That is manners.
Who would do that?
Well, now if you're 1/4 of a way through the sentence, it's acceptable, but mid-sentence is not okay.
Well, but, and we might add to our listeners that it's impossible to not do that streaming. We didn't interrupt each other when we were doing this and when we were all in the same room.
Sometimes there's just a little lag. Just a little lag.
Yeah.
And I really don't think not interrupting anyone mid-sentence will get much debate. Always say thank you. Have you ran into some awkward things where you're not sure if you should say thank you or not?
When do you ever not say thank you?
Well, now me overthinking it, and I try to be unfailingly polite. Sometimes I've done the opposite. I think I've accidentally said thank you when I probably shouldn't have. Like the last time I had a blood test, and then she put my she put my Band-Aid on. I was like, thank you, and I'm like, that probably wasn't. You know what I mean?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I agree with what there have been times where I've said thank you and then afterwards walked away and thought that didn't make sense in that situation. But I can't think of it now, like off the top of my head. I'm more bothered by like I said, people not saying thank you, and I find it happening more and more. My curmudgeon just broke free there. It's
Well, I haven't reached curmudgeon. I'm still in coot right now because I haven't fully blown. And I think I think even my ornery students will say thank you. I think that is still pretty intact.
I think your students will. I
Yeah.
think the young are young, but I'm talking about out in society.
Oh.
It's the young adults that won't say thank you. That kind of thing.
Oh, I just remembered the situation. They handed me my food in a drive-through, and they handed me back my card. I said thank you, and I'm like,
Well, they didn't have to.
That's true, but I'm their customer. I'm not saying I'm their customer, but it was just one of those things. I thought I was clunky by saying thank you.
So let's break this down though. What were you saying? How does it translate in that situation? Are you thanking them for not stealing your card?
Or thanking them for handing it back to me into my palm and not chucking it at me, or making me not pull around the front and get it the old-fashioned way.
I mean, I think we're overthinking it. I think anytime
Yeah.
somebody hands you anything, you say thank you, whether it was yours to begin with or it's new. If somebody hands me a Tootsie Roll Pop, I say thank you. If I drop my Tootsie Roll Pop and somebody hands it to me, I say thank you. So you're programmed to say thank you when someone hands you something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's pretty accurate. It's just, but
or is it just a thank you in general for the transaction?
Celia has it. Here it is. Thank you for the service.
There we go. When in doubt, just say it.
Okay. Thank you for serving me.
When in doubt, whip the thank you out.
So she also says Kirsten Schweikert is the only person she knows, and probably I know too, that went to etiquette school. She's an expert. We need to get her on here. Kirsten, tell us about manners.
Consult hers. I'll know what fork to use and what order. Things like that used to stress me out.
No situation that would have multiple silverwares would have me as a guest.
Brady wouldn't last a day in etiquette school when they saw him eating cereal with a fork.
Well, here's the irony. Hey, dude, and I'm being totally serious when I say this. I've forgotten this until this very moment. But I think my whole deal with the handles originated from a Miss Manners article or a comment where you're not supposed to clean your entire plate and leave it blank. And I think I left something behind so I wasn't rude, and I just kind of got carried away with it.
That's the opposite. You're supposed to clean your plate.
No, you're not supposed to act like a ravenous raccoon rummaging through a dumpster. You're supposed to leave little nibs of it.
No,
so it doesn't look like you were desperate.
You're talking about sheer speed and depth of eating. But you're supposed to clean your plate.
No, you're supposed to clean your plate completely, lick everything off of it, and loudly belch to show that you enjoyed the meal.
With your elbows on the table, your hat on, and your pants unzipped and unbuttoned, so your stomach doesn't get circulation cut off from your pants.
We're not the planet either.
I just have this visual now.
I do too, unfortunately.
No, but I think this is a debate itself. We need people to chime into this. Brady, you can't just say something like you're not supposed to clean your plate and then leave it. We got to have people chime in on this.
I'm gonna ask my Google machine and see if this pops up, because I swear that was the article and I got concerned for it. Is it bad manners to clean your plate?
I mean, unless you're eating shrimp.
Here it is. I'm getting a grok right here. In most Western cultures, it's considered polite to leave a small amount of food on your plate, so cleaning your plate can be completely seen as rude. As it might imply you were okay. So if you cleaned your plate, that would imply that you weren't served enough and you were still hungry. like they didn't provide for you enough. So
Well,
you
maybe I
clean the
wasn't.
plate.
Maybe I
That's
wasn't.
true.
Okay, so you're telling me that when the person at the restaurant sees a pyramid of French fry handles, they're going to be like, "That man was served the perfect amount, the exact amount of food, and he's happy."
Yes.
No, they're
As
going
I
to say
unbutton my
that is
pants
the
and
most
belts.
polite person in this world.
Exactly.
Yep. And I, you know, it's funny, but I was being serious. Like, you know, I remember seeing that.
Oh,
And I didn't
okay.
want
No,
to be.
no. You are telling a falsehood right now.
No, I'm not.
Yes, because
Well, he
your
said he just
original.
remembered it.
Well, no, his original reasoning for the handles on the fries was
Oh, well, fries are different.
well, no. Now the bread, the reason for that was you didn't want to bite where your hands were.
That's true.
So
Well, and I thought he had a sharp fry one time that poked him. So
I
you can't
did.
have every. Yeah. Well,
It could all be true.
Well,
It's just
maybe
all
you just
leading
had
to
a
the same goal.
right. Maybe you just had a small handle habit, and all those things combined made it a large
To a
handle habit.
compulsion.
Yeah.
I think you need psychiatry.
Oh,
Now
come on now.
I'll sling my
There's-
cereal
there's-
with my
do.
fork dip cereal.
There's
think we all
got to be a
do.
food psychologist out there somewhere that Brady could go to.
I mean, I obviously we love to tease Brady about the handles thing. I have my own hangups so I can't tell Brady he needs to see somebody about that unless I go with him and see somebody about mine too.
I will eat my handles, and you can handle your wet bread, soggy
I was going to
bread.
say no. Well, I say like how like I pretty much make us go broke with napkins and paper towel purchases because I use dozens of them in one meal.
Yeah,
I can't stand my hands being messy and sticky and
yeah, I'm right there with you on that one.
food covered. Which is weird though because so I'm guilty. I'll tell you what I'm guilty of lately, and that is eating things with a fork that I never used to. Not cereal. Not cereal, but like so I'll be eating a sandwich, and if the sandwich gets too messy, I'll just say hell with it and just start eating it with a fork.
You'll say fork it.
Fork it.
Like it doesn't extend to like things like applesauce, which is just a logistical nightmare, or
No, because a spoon. You only eat applesauce with a spoon.
yeah.
I'm saying.
Well,
I'm saying
and I'm
things I
eating
would.
pie and cake with a spoon too.
I don't unless I have ice cream atop it.
I'm pretty good at balancing. I could do the ice cream with a I could do an ice cream with a fork. I could build a multi-layered thing.
Ice cream does not belong on a fork. Oh, if you eat it quick enough.
Well, yeah, it's not like I'm coning it on the on the fork.
Maybe I thought you liked your ice cream like you liked your cereal, dry.
I don't know that. I don't know. Coning your ice cream, it just came out.
No, what I mean is like if I have ice cream atop a piece of pie, I typically by the time I'm done eating said pie, the ice cream has kind of oozed down. I mean, if you're going to eat the ice cream first,
I think I do that.
Fork. Yeah.
Now, hot fudge cake, I get all the same, but for some reason, on my pie, I do tend to eat the ice cream faster than the pie itself.
Well, but not only that, but the ice cream on ice cream cake is a square. It's a square of ice cream. It's a shape of ice cream.
Yeah.
Yep. Say's right. There's a perfect example. Thank you, Say. So tonight, before we got on, I ate tacos, and I ate like a couple bites of each taco with my hands, but then I used a fork to eat the rest of them. Is that weird?
Were they hard tacos or soft tacos?
Yeah, hard tacos.
How can you eat a hard taco with a fork?
That would be difficult even for my skill level.
Oh, I mean, like, I have strong hands. I don't know. I mean, they break. I mean, you just. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, like balancing the shards of taco shell on your fork, along with the lettuce and the shredded beast and all that. How do you do that?
Well, I had no lettuce. I don't eat lettuce on my tacos. But
fair enough.
But the rest of it, what you do, there's a couple ways. You can just balance it like you said, or you can kind of get a twixt the prongs thing going, like where you get the edge of the shell kind of between the prongs of the fork.
Intertine.
Yeah, so you intertine and scoop at the same time.
So you're using the chip as a scooping mechanism?
Kind of. It's kind of like
then use a spoon.
What?
Use it.
That's
okay. So
that's
okay.
absurd.
That's crazy talk.
That's crazy talk.
Stop here. So Celia asks me, "What is my quirk?" I don't think it's a quirk. I think it's utility. I'm going to use a spoon if I need to scoop stuff. I need to scoop pie and keep it all on in the same, so not falling off the edge of the fork. I need a spoon. That's why I use a spoon, and people act like it's ridiculous.
No, I can't. I said if it has, but I can't think of any time I'm scooping pie. I'm
all kinds of pie you're scooping.
I'm breaking off pie and eating with crust attached.
It sounds like it should be a sub. Breaking off pie.
Well,
Now,
if it's a fruitish pie, the fruit is falling off the fork. If it's a creme pie, then the creme is falling off the fork.
But if it's a well put together pie, it all stays nice and taut on the fork.
If it's properly
chilled. Have you guys ever done this? I have. Have you ever had a fork and a spoon to work the food with at the same, not the same time, but like you'll go back and forth? I've done that.
Sounds very Italian.
Yeah. As I say, I'd say
no,
like a
that's
sous
together.
chef.
I don't mean together. I'm not ambidextrous. I'm talking like sometime, whatever you're eating, like you'll use a fork, but then every once, like if you have some droppings, like maybe the pie innards fall out, and then you grab your spoon and you scoop it.
See, you just start with the spoon. You don't need to dirty up two utensils to do that.
Well, I don't like the shape of the cut the spoon does. If I cut, just like cake, if you take your spoon and you cut the cake, you end up with this weird rhombus. I don't even know what it's like, a half. You know what I mean? It's
a rhombus.
Mezzaluna shaped.
You don't want that. I want a rectangle when I cut a piece of cake.
Okay, Todd, you want to? I do not think that's insane. So therefore, you might need a food shrink like me.
Well, here's something else I thought of, though. I think this will defend my fork with the taco thing. Essentially, what I do is I start out eating tacos the way most people eat tacos. By the time it's done, I pretty much turn into a taco salad, and I've never seen anyone eat taco salad with a spoon.
By the time you got all that balance on the fork, you need the background music, because it turns into a circus thing, balancing it on.
Think about it, though. If you order nachos or you order a taco salad, you eat it with a fork, and that's kind of what I turn my tacos into.
Well, and I think that's fair, but taco salad is not easy to consume with any utensil.
Which is why I never start out wanting a taco salad, because it's a pain in the ass to eat, but I end up turning my tacos into taco salad, which makes no sense.
Okay, the Frito-Lay people or the Tostito people, picture this. It is a fork that is a thicker, firmer, it's like a Frito fork or a spoon. So it's made out of corn chip, shaped like a spoon, where it's got a dip and everything, but then you can eat it at the end.
We got Tostitos scoop or Frito scoop.
This takes that to the next level, where it's actually shaped like a utensil.
Ooh.
Worth looking into.
It is.
It is.
All right, so Carrie put this out there. Now we're going to get off on a whole other tangent. She says spork has its place. A spork has no place.
No, here's why, though, Aric.
But a food has all the place in the world.
Right.
I cut you off, Aric. Go ahead. Continue with your spork.
Again, going back to utility, the tongs on a spork or foon, if you like, are not long enough to do anything with. They are not tiny enough to do any, and I don't mean T-I-N-Y, I mean T-I-N-E-Y. They don't look like tines enough. They're more like, I don't know what they are, but it looks like the top of a jack-o'-lantern mouth. It doesn't do anything. You can't stab anything with it.
But you could hold it in place.
Yeah.
For your flimsy plastic knife, is that what you're talking about?
What I was getting ready to say, Aric, I agree with you about the spork. I'm not a fan, but I think it's only because the only sporks I've ever used were more rubber than plastic. Like they had, there's no solidity. There's no, you know what I mean? Like try eating some KFC Try eating some KFC with a limp spork. If they
A
made
flaccid
a spork,
food.
you flaccid food. No, if they made a spork out of the regular material that they make a fork, or even one of the higher end plasticware, I would maybe try it. But they're all flimsy and useless.
Do you know what would be an excellent spork or foon? Is one that has very harder They get the DO horns, like the metal sign. But they're just two long, like pitchfork tines off of it, where it can
A trench.
Yeah.
A trench between.
So
I
it's
can
like
see
a pitch spork.
Yeah.
pitch,
Yes.
pitch foon.
A pitch. Don't be careful saying that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I can't believe Say hasn't chimed in because I definitely have some weird things with my silverware. My silverware has to have a certain weight to it. It has to have a certain length to it.
has to have a pitch and yaw that is.
What I hate is when you go and the fork is almost flat because it's so malleable that people bend it straight rather than a fork is supposed to have, like you said, a nice pitch.
And we got to go back to this old chestnut. The reason we have beef, we've all had beeves with Wendy's their frosty spoons.
You beat me to it.
Okay, because it's too depthy. Like,
well, it isn't anymore. They changed it.
They did.
Now it's not depthy enough.
Because it's kind of like an excellent hotel pool. It's got a large deep end, but it made it difficult to eat because you would scrape the soft part of your bottom of your mouth.
If you weren't careful and you give it a nice big, like it would get like stuck to like the roof of your mouth and pull skin out when you put. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard my soft palate
is you go upside down. You got to take it, go upside down, and then just rake it across the tongue.
See, then while you're tongue punching that ice cream on that deep spoon, it's gonna drop right off and hit a tooth, and that's gonna hit your sensitive teeth.
TV 14.
Well, no, I just I'm trying with the spoon.
He happened to use a term that you're used to hearing him use it another way.
Yes, I'm literally, like you got to give it the old, sublingual Bruce Lee, like and like right in that thing. It's deep, and you can hurt yourself, man.
Yeah. Sorry, Carrie. Carrie, we agree with you a lot, but the spork has to go unless they make one that's a little more solid.
But they don't poke.
No, they bend. If you really go to poke Jello and the Jello wins.
There are two places on Earth now that use foons or sporks: KFC and school cafeterias. That's it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we have them at our school or not.
Well, I mean, some do.
I remember when I coined the term foon was at the North Adams Elementary cafeteria because it just struck me as like somebody told me to get him a spork, and I said nope, but I'll get you a foon, and I thought it was funny, and that's when it was birthed.
Well, there's only one. Actually, this eating apparatus is even better than a spork, and that is the wooden plank, just the wooden ice cream plank. I think that's better than a spork.
Maybe for beavers, man, but I've got like splinters, have you ever taken one of those off and there's just a little bit of splinter and you've been peeled?
Oh yeah,
you're
not only that, but 2 bites into it and it tastes like this. It tastes more like the wooden plank than it does the actual ice cream.
Right.
Oh yeah.
If you're eating one of those frosty malts at the Reds game,
the Brown and Tasties,
yeah, and it's been in the cooler and they just took them out and you're like the first stop and you try to poke one of those planks in there and break it off. It happens all the time.
You basically need a geologic drilling apparatus because it's not going to get in there with that wooden plank.
Well, not only that, Todd, but you're also launching frozen ice cream bullets at everybody around because you're trying to. You know what I mean? You're not. You're digging, and then when you pop it out, it goes flying.
It's been
because you're trying not to
like
break the plank.
Yeah.
Riley
Sporks
verifies they do have sporks at the high school.
Do
at
they,
Hillsboro.
Riley? Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. Best year.
Maybe they feel high school kids can deal with that.
Yeah. Hey, we might have them at our school. I don't know. I will say this. There is a place for a spork, but it's only if that's all you have. And it's better to eat liquids with than it is solids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can eat some mashed potatoes with a spork. You don't need the spork, but if that's all you have, you can get by with it. But if you're eating ribs and chicken, you can't use a spork.
Okay, so a spork is the epitome of the saying, if you try to be all things, you are none.
The jack of all trades, master of none.
Exactly.
Right. But do you
are...
agree that if you have to have one, if it's all you got, it's better for soups and chilies and soft foods like that?
Oh, well, yeah, because it's more of a spoon than a fork.
Now, you got to be careful, though, because if you're you tend to bring the spoon to your mouth a little quicker with soups because it's liquid, and I'm afraid I'm gonna decapitate my uvula with that sharp spark.
Or at the very least, you'll soil your clothes with soup.
Well, and you need that spork to do work and to be tough and to cut and stab and pull apart, but it won't. But then when you jab your tongue with it, that's when it all of a sudden gets sharp and
right.
Anyway, Carrie, sorry, Carrie, we didn't mean to come down on you there.
Yeah, we weren't arguing with you. We were just giving our perspective. All right, Brady.
Where were we?
Sorry about that. My talk about a rabbit hole. We went down deep on that one. Okay, let me get back to my list. I accidentally got on the spelling list. Okay, how about this one? Don't comment on someone's appearance unless it's positive. That's just not etiquette. That's just survival, man. Can you imagine? Man, that jacket makes you look huge. Who does that?
Okay.
There are people that do that.
But I think I think this even has some wiggle room.
Oh.
Okay. Personally, if I put on something what if you're asked? Now I know there's a whole even if you're asked, but I mean if I have something I say, okay, how does this look? I legit want to know because I'll change if it doesn't look good.
Well,
so I think there's some.
If it's spouse or something in the house, but I think this is like social out and about.
Oh yeah.
Think of school, like that outfit's like, man, that makes you look like a doily. Where something, yeah. If you're just offering an opinion, I don't think just if it's not nice, don't say it at all.
That's what I was asking to someone in the house,
yeah,
a loved one.
So Josh, welcome.
Because if you don't say something, then it's kind of like if somebody has a booger in their nose. If you don't tell them and they see it, they're like, "Why didn't you tell me I had a booger in my nose?"
Well, there's ways to communicate that without saying a word. Just little.
For instance, like the
day back up in there.
Yeah.
The day I wore two different boots to work, I would have loved for somebody to tell me. Like, for instance, my wife, when I was leaving the house, that I had two different boots on.
Did she laugh at
you? Possibly even a student or somebody to tell me early enough in the day where I could have gone home and changed during planning, but no.
No.
So Josh says, I believe if someone asks you how they look, you should answer honestly. There is something to don't ask a question you don't want to hear the answer to, but I'm guessing if someone asks you, they have a question in their mind, of course. Their tactful is key, I believe, right?
And also, I think there's some, and we're all probably guilty of this. I mean, let's not act perfect here, but there's also something to be said about you know it. Okay, let's just say you have a 9-inch nose. I'm saying you don't need you don't say you're going and you have a 9-inch nose. You have a 9-inch nose and you're going out and you're like, hey, so how do I look? And the person's like, well, you look great except for that hideous 9-inch nose. You don't need to hear that every single time that you ask how you look. So I think there's some, and I'm being completely out there just to prove my point, but you know what I'm saying? Like you don't
with the 9-inch
you don't need to hear that every time. You know you have a 9-inch toucan nose. You don't need to hear it every single time.
Yeah. All right. With that, respect the line, no cutting.
All right.
Let's cut peanut butter.
Okay. This is the one I was waiting for.
Oh.
Respect the line, no cutting.
Curmudgeon.
Yep, here it comes.
Codger.
Coot. All right, so you're at the store, whatever store it is, grocery store, whatever store. They open up another register. Without fail, the person all the way in the back of the line will run up there and go to that new register. Etiquette should say that you should allow the person who is nearest the next register to move over, or at the very least two behind those people, not the person. If you're all the way in the back of the line, you should not be the first one to check out. You should have enough self-realization awareness to know this, but invariably people do not.
Real quick, just I was sending you guys a text there, so I missed part of that. So I the scenario is you're in line, another lane opens up.
Correct.
So let's say you're the next one in line. You're saying that you should get that lane that's opened up.
You have first dibs on it.
I agree you have first dibs, but I think you should give it up to the person behind you.
Well, yeah. The person next in line has first dibs, then it goes from there. Yes,
right,
I agree.
Right. Yeah.
It is not the person all the way in the back.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I usually give it up because I feel like, okay, I'm next. You know what I mean? I'm next in this line.
So I have a simple amendment that'll make this all simple. So if you're in question whether you're closest,
sir.
Yeah, well, hold on.
I have a simple amendment that will make this simple and amended.
So if you could extend your
arm, buy a synonym.
If you could extend your arm and make a chop on each side, and if you can't, if you're hitting the rail, the things that have like the candy bars, the energy drinks, and all the extras, if you can swing your arm and hit one of those, you should not leave the line. You're close enough to the pole of the line. You need to stay there. If you can extend your arm and you are not caught up in the side like things, you can exit to the next line.
If you're not in the corral already.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So I will give you a for instance that happened to me in Illinois. So I'm standing there, Now there was no corral.
Okay.
But there was an obvious line of people waiting for the self-checkouts. This guy comes in from the opposite direction and just cuts, like I was next in line. Well, actually I was second to next because there's a person in front of me, lady in front of me. Guy just comes from the opposite direction and swoops right into and it's like, do you want to make a scene? I really felt like making a scene.
Did you and the lady in front of you give each other a knowing look?
Yeah.
Like, what's up with this buffoon?
Yeah, it's like WT, really.
What the flim foul?
Yeah, flim farn.
What the
What's going on here?
How farn?
What's going on here? Yeah, and we just and actually it was not just me and her, it was like 5 of us there. All looked at each other like, well, what's up with this guy here? And he just freaking oblivious. I can't stand it. Yes, curmudgeon, coot, codger.
But you had the numbers, Aric.
Yeah, I mean, again, we could have made a scene. We could have made a big scene.
Everybody at once should have gotten that high voice in unison, like, who's this guy think he is? Look at this SOB.
You're right.
Yes. Okay.
It is the raising of the voice. You hit it on the head.
It's called the 2-octave displeasure tone. So I don't know what's going on.
You got to use the high voice and then spell out your cuss words in case there's any kids around. Look at this A-double.
So here it is. The 1-octave voice is Brady's kind phone voice. The 2-octave voice is displeasure.
Yeah. Look at this.
All these years we defined it. There it is. 1 octave is kind, 2 octaves is displeasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. What are you doing?
Nah, that was the most egregious thing that's happened to me in a while. But I was in a foreign state, and I thought they may arrest me if I try to make a scene here. But.
Yeah. Now, queue waiting is cultural. When I was in Mexico in the Mayan ruins, visitors from another certain continent, and I don't think it was rudeness. There is a lack of awareness about how queues and lines work. But keep in mind, us as Americans, we're drilled from preschool on. What's the first thing we learn?
Get in line.
How to wait in that line. And I just, that's in our training. Because, I don't want to get myself in trouble. And I'm just speaking facts. This is not a discrimination thing, but French Canadian tourists in Disney, this is something they struggle. I've seen it more than one time, like line waiting. And it must be a cultural thing because every single time, whether it was like at a food queue or a line queue or something like that. Why am I saying queue? When did I start using queue? But anyway, yeah. So, but yeah.
Mind the gap.
Well, but think about this. Even you talk about when you say us, there's also a certain generation gap. There's a generation thing there because here's an example. You talk about how we were taught lineage or line
etiquette.
Line etiquette, yeah. But think about this. We also went from, in our day, 1-2 shoe at the water fountain to now kids have a full-time water bottle at their desk, full-time all day long.
And they're happier for it.
So they can knock them on the floor and scare the hell out of you 3 times a day.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was a drive-by the other day.
Yeah, get up in the middle of a test and go fill their water bottle. Again, we had 1-2 shoe about 3 times a day, maybe. I want you to count that. 1-2 shoe. So we had about 14 points of a second in the total day to eat, to drink.
Well, okay. Now, yes, I'm a curmudgeon, a codger, and a coot. But I will say there are some things that happened in our childhood that were kind of rude and crude. That 1-2 shoe is kind of rude and crude. Why are we timing 3 times a day you get a 1.5 second sip of water?
Because there's sentences to diagram, man. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, I think we can all agree that, but somewhere in between now and then is proper, because also I agree 1-2 shoe is not enough, but
there's a happy medium.
And also like all day long as much water as you want, so then you can go to the bathroom 19 times a day as well. Is also we want to talk about missed teaching time. I mean,
fair enough.
At least one thing is when we were younger, the 1-2 shoe left plenty of time for classroom.
Especially if you had those kids with the gerbil-sized bladders.
Right.
See, now it was great when you could go out of class to the restroom by yourself, because the water fountain by the gym at Sardinia Elementary had the coolest, most refreshing water in this world. This world.
It sparkled. And like unicorns would jump out of it and stuff.
You would hear the music. It'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, but there was nothing better when you were younger and you had the 1-2 when you had the 1-2 shoe teacher, when you suddenly found yourself with an unsupervised drink. And you could, in your head, you just got cocky as hell. You're like, 1, 2, 3, look at me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I think I'll have some more.
I was going 1, 2, 3, 4 up yours. So it's like sometimes
1,
what I
2,
would
3,
think.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No.
I better not be late. I mean, like you got cocky, and then
Yeah.
because
1, 2, 3,
I
4,
can
5,
remember
6,
having
7,
that
8,
thing
9.
like nobody's counting me. I can drink as much as I want.
See it, but it shows our lack of street smarts because we should have made a deal with our buddy in line. Say, you need to cause a distraction here so I can get a drink.
You're
That,
right.
that is longer than 1.5
And he would
seconds.
start fake vomiting and then get the distraction, and we'd be like
Well,
a dog
and
in a
also
dog bowl.
you were so nervous for the 1-2 shoe that you literally actually, I mean, like you pulled your mouth off the
Like
water
there's gonna be
stream.
The
there's
stream.
gonna be 3,000 electric currents come through it if you pass shoe like.
Well, no, but I'm saying, so you did that, then you do the turn, and then all the water runs out of your bottom lip onto your shirt.
So you
Worse
only really
yet.
got one. You didn't even get the 2 shoe.
The second
guys
grade
remember
hallway
being
had a lot of
younger?
water pressure. So
Do
it
you
could
remember
come
being
out of your
younger
nose
and
if you weren't
constantly having just a wet stripe on your shirt,
Yeah.
just constant?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's from the 1-2 shoe.
Because we were hurried.
Right.
careful.
Harried.
So
But then you had the weird kids who literally put the entire apparatus in their mouth.
oh, I know, man.
So did you know things you learn as a principal? Did you know that there is a measurement that the stream of water must go above that contraption per the health department? And if
Well,
your stream does not go above that contraption enough,
you need to
you
go to
get
the
written up for it.
proctologist or urologist.
Well, but you know how many drinks I remember in my day at different places where, to use one of Brady's terms from tonight, you had to tongue punch the water spigot to get the water out of it. Like it didn't even come out of it. Here's how you knew it was working. You just saw the whole swirl. Like you just saw, you know what I mean? You saw the flash of the glint. You saw the water glint on the.
It was
the water
torture
hole.
too,
That's how
because
you knew.
it made you
had
want
no
it
idea.
worse.
You didn't know if you stuck your tongue there, if there was a little water fountain troll that was going to get a hold of it and tug.
Oh, well, okay. I'm always one for a good yuck or prank, but do you know what would literally make me murderous is in the cafeteria at the old Eastern High School, where some, and I'm going to use some strong language, some butthole would put a would put a
Get your head so far up your buttholes.
butthole would put a paper or a gum wedge in the bottom hole, and that thing would shoot up and give you a nasal enema like nobody's business. It would make a rooster tail 5 feet long and high.
Oh, we were getting waterboarded long before waterboarding was an actual thing. It wasn't only that though. Some of those adjustments, I think it was the custodians. They like to mess with the kids. They would adjust those things to where it would do that.
Do it in between classes, so you had to do the tongue punching one period. You lean in and then you get the whole blast in your face.
Yeah.
Don't you hate when it happened midstream?
Well, and sometimes the same fountain would act differently between uses.
Yeah.
And you know, Noble Hardiman was standing around the corner just smiling. I got another one.
There was cell phone cameras back then, man. That'd be YouTube gold. There was one teacher who shall remain nameless at the high school. Leaned over, got it once, and I thought the blue language was going to be coming quick.
You know, between having to snake your tongue down a water fountain pipe and using those cloth hand towel things, we're lucky we're all alive.
The sumo towels.
That's exactly where they came from.
Yeah, they were diapers. It was basically a non-ending diaper. You just cranked the diaper apparatus.
Oh, it ended. It ended because you were wiping your hands on some person wiped their butt on it when it came back.
It ended with
the
parasites.
There'd be muddy hands, and like the ag hallway, there'd be cow feces and grease and things like that, and you'd have to try to put your hand on it. It was be like, oh.
I mean, how is that ever allowed?
It was, and here's the thing: nobody knows what color those were when they started out.
We were
assuming they were
jaundice, yellow, and soiled by the end of the day.
I'm assuming they were bright white, and by the time they were done, they looked like that old like Babe Ruth baseball uniform that was just kind of like grayish, brownish, tannish, yellow. You know what I'm talking about? That color that like it just seemed like old baseball uniforms were that color. Like bathwater gray.
I got it.
Yeah.
All right, let me get some comments here. Josh brings up a good point here. As far as the line order, an old person does get preference. So if I'm the one that needs the next in line, I will defer to someone who is elderly. That's fair. Let's see. Samantha, their driving is worse. Don't get me started on the rudeness. We're talking about
Illinois.
Illinois. I didn't know if she's talking about because we talked about French Canadians and Illinois, and I didn't know who she was talking about.
I'm not meaning to insult French Canadians. I'm just noticing because whenever there was a line issue and an employee would have to reprimand it was always, yeah.
Well, Celia says foul to that. She says waiting in line is universal. Don't claim that you don't know how to wait. It's BS, she says.
Right.
And
she's as curmudgeon as they get.
Josh, per the health department, the water must crest at least 2 inches and the mouth guard must be directly over the water.
Crest. That's just nice.
Mouth guard. When we were younger, we didn't have mouth guards.
It will look like a shoehorn inverted. That's what the water hit. Like
some of them did. Some of them didn't even have that. I can remember
they all had the shoehorn, didn't they?
I don't think so.
Okay, here. Talking about water receptacles, do you remember the old Lions Club park where you had to crank the well?
Oh yeah,
and then the water would crest out.
Yeah, and if you lifted up that metal apparatus, there's probably a dead possum and a raccoon from like 1954 floating in it. Yeah,
and the water tasted probably like it was about 72.7% iron.
Oh, yeah.
It almost tasted like blood.
Tastes like, I was going to say blood water.
Yeah.
Tastes like a shark attack.
I always said that the water fountain at Sardini United Methodist Church tasted like pencil lead smell.
I love pencil lead smell, though.
I don't like drinking it, though.
No.
Yeah,
but plus, you had a couple different skins on your water fountains. You had the old, just beige. Remember that? Like it was just like a. It seems like there were some that even had a green tint to them.
Some of them.
And then you had some that were gray.
And you had the old toilet white porcelain ones.
Right.
Oh yeah. There was always a good bit of rust on the spigots of those in the handles.
Oh yeah. Like you weren't sure if somebody could drop a deuce in it or drink out of it. It had some confusing.
Yeah. Sure, there was an upper decker or two left in those.
Boy, where were we? On the etiquette.
I think we might have just to pick a couple more etiquette greatest hits so we can get to your topic, Aric.
I think we can agree, though, that we know more than Miss Etiquette about etiquette.
Yeah,
I
call us Mister's Etiquette.
Exactly. No, I'm good with going on with the etiquette.
Okay.
Yeah. Our dander's up, Brady. We can't just lower our dander like that.
Right.
All right. How about this one? Wow, I knock before entering a closed door. Does this door have a window, a peeping window in it, like they do in schools? Or is this just a door, like a bathroom or bedroom door? This has some, play to it. A closed door that you can't see through. Knock.
Well, C and I have had this debate at work because she is of the belief that when we go to the staff bathroom, that even if it's unlocked, you knock before you go in. And she's probably right, because I have walked in on a
We've
couple
all
people.
been burned, yeah.
Right. But I look at it like if you're in there, lock the door.
Exactly.
Because you don't want
yeah.
to. So here's the thing. It's kind of like driving. You can't just depend on and believe that everybody else is going to do their job correctly. And if I'm coming to the bathroom, I might not. You know what I mean? So I will sometimes knock, even if it's locked, like if it's unlocked. But a lot of times I forget, and I just take the handle and push. If it's open, and you're in there, that's on you.
So some's going to be on you.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, can I? This is the opposite, and I might be having deja vu here, but like, don't you hate that awkward moment? You're just, you're washing your hands or you're finishing, peeing in school, and you're in the staff room, and somebody knocks. What do you say? What's your response?
Again, you beat me to it. I was going to say that. What is the proper response to that?
I usually say, "Come in."
Someone's in here. I'm in here. Hey, I'm whizzing. I don't know. Like,
just a minute.
I got
just
you.
a moment. One moment.
Here's what you do. You go.
or do you make some other noise to let people know that you're in there?
No, they should keep a shampoo bottle with just about a quarter inch at the bottom, so you could squeeze the shampoo bottle and let them hear the thunder without feeling the lightning, if you know what I mean.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of taking attendance. You say here, or you say
here.
You remember when you always had that one. You always had that. Don't tell me you guys were those smart ass kids where everybody said here, and that one kid always said present.
Or
there's always
the
one
best
kid
one
that said present.
Or the worst one's like, not here. I think there should be a tasing involved in that. That should just be written in the rules.
You get the smart ass kid, and I might have been this one or two times in my day. President, and then everybody laughs about it. Do you guys have that kid?
No.
I don't recall the president, but I get the not here a lot. There was a lot of not heres.
Well, but at least the not heres and the presidents are trying to do a service. They're trying to make everybody laugh. The kid that says present after everybody else said here is just trying to show you up. They're trying to show they're better than you. They're hoity-toity.
All right.
Ready to learn.
Here's an extension of that whole situation when you're in the restroom and someone knocks. It stresses me out so much. So at our building, the rule is once you're done in the restroom, you engage the lock so the door is open. So you know that no one is in there. There are people who will not engage the lock. So I don't know if someone is in there or not. I don't know.
Why does someone not engage the lock?
Now, do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, when you leave, you engage the lock, so the door is cracked open, so you know that no one is in there.
Yes, I see what you mean. Okay,
that's the rule. There's even a little diagram on the wall that says engage the lock and has a diagram.
Todd's
open up the lock.
I'm not. I'm laughing at Jay. I'm laughing at Josh's comment because I didn't get it for a second, and then all of a sudden I got it big time, and I think it's hilarious. If I'm getting it like he's, if I'm picking up what he's putting down,
that's a fact. But we'll get to that in a moment. Okay, so
I don't think Aric's ever played in an away game. Have you, Aric?
I played an away game today, actually.
Did I send you the angry German? Have I sent you the angry German yet? There's this angry German that uses kind of German slang, and one of them was a Homenscheisen, and it's a no away games guy.
But here's the thing:
I learned so much from that.
sometimes a pickup game just happens. I mean, it just pops out of nowhere.
It's kind of what happened today.
You can't claim home court advantage. Oh, like if you're just, if you're just practicing and a game breaks out.
And like you said, you don't want to divide into the shirts and skins in that situation.
No, I tell my kids all day, you practice how you want to play. So, I mean,
all right,
you're just practicing.
All right. So let me get back to engaging the lock on the door.
Right.
Some people will not engage the lock when they leave.
And
I walk up to the door and the lock is not engaged. I am so stressed out about being on the other side of that door and having the knock happen that I won't do that to somebody else. I'll go find another restroom.
Well, you're a man of privilege if there are other restrooms to go to.
Well, I am a man of privilege when it comes to that, I guess. But
he's a man of letters.
You didn't take it as an insult. I didn't mean it as such.
I was going to say I didn't know how to take that at first. But.
No, I wasn't meaning it as an insult. I don't know. I think Celia might have said it. Anything works. I mean, I do. I wasn't joking. I do typically make a coughing sound or something to you don't want none of this.
Well, she also called you out, Todd.
She did.
She said,
I get called out daily.
Walked in on like 35 people. Knock in capital letters.
That's not true. I've walked in. I've been there 13. This is my 13th year, and I've walked in on like 3 or 4. But
yes,
every one of them. But I will say this: only one of them was actually still in the act of going. We didn't stay long. But the funny thing is, and I've told this story, and I can tell this because I don't think this person would ever listen to the podcast, and I'm really not going to say anything bad about them. But this particular person was a substitute, and you can't blame. They don't know that. They don't know the protocol. They don't know that this wasn't a substitute that had been there a long time, and this was a gentleman, kind of a tall gentleman, and he had on he would wear. For like a recess, when it was colder, he would wear a long black, like a cowboy coat. You know what I mean? Like the long black,
like a duster,
like the Undertaker, like a long black,
a trench coat.
I walk in the bathroom, and I see just a black, tall silhouette, like just standing there, back turned towards me, urinating into the toilet, and I hear. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That's what I heard as I walked in. So even they knew they had messed up, and I just closed the door and walked away.
That's the only time I've caught anybody. Tallman from Phantasm.
Well, it wasn't that he was that tall, but just the coat was imposed. It was just like you literally wouldn't even have known it was a man had you not seen him in the coat before and after. It was just a black shape standing at the urinal. And then it made me wonder what he would have done with the coat had he had to sit down. Because it was too long, it would have been all over the floor.
Yeah,
and there's no hangers in there now that I think about it. Well, anyway,
just have to do the floor fold because there's a faculty restroom and it'll be relatively clean. It's not like anybody's doing the butt scoot in there.
That's true, Celia. I get so mad when I'm in the bath. That's your fault, though. If you have no reason to get mad if you lock the door.
But they're breaking the unspoken rule of the etiquette if you supposed to knock on the door.
See, I go handle first. I grab the handle first.
Oh no, you always knock first because once you hear that rattling, it's like the Nazis busting in on Anne Frank, like that, and they're coming. No, you need to knock. There's got to be some forewarning because there's immediate anxiety of that. Because you think that handle's going to give way and you're going to be prone and vulnerable.
Well, one of two things is going to happen. They're either going to finish quickly or they're going to pinch it off and not be able to go when they hear that clank of the handle. Either way, the deposit's paused.
The commerce is not conducted.
Celia says, BS.
Here's what you guys don't
get me on the
get.
end.
So I get all these and then she's literally yelling in the other side of the house at the same time she's typing.
I think we've hit a nerve.
You should see her last.
Savages. Knock.
bloody savages. Mangy cuz.
Because they're much more cultured in Russellville.
Oh man.
No, I agree with you, Celia. I agree with you. And yes, Jim, I am anal retentive. Come to that. But there was no retaining it today.
Oh, okay. This one's gonna hit a nerve. I'm gonna have to be careful with myself. Don't block the sidewalk when chatting, especially when you're trying to get to your 9 o'clock class. And sorority sisters would block all traffic and then give you the side eye when you had to walk around them if you looked a little bit nonplussed because they wouldn't move.
Blank Chi Omega. All right, so let's extend that to adulthood. And again, we go back to the grocery store. The grocery aisle. People will chat. You got a cart. Can't get through. People are oblivious. They block the aisle.
Yeah. And, it was just always one of those because you would get annoyed and you were trying to keep a pleasant face, but it was kind of hard. It's like, wrap it up, sister. So, and they'd be 3 abreast and like I said, it was a blockade and you'd have to walk out into the road to get around them. And how dare you walk out into the road because that means it was just.
You're insinuating they were in the way.
Yes. Oh. Anyway, that was a rough one for me.
So if anyone wondered when we started this topic if we were going to get our dander up and be curmudgeon, then you probably haven't listened to our podcast enough.
Yeah.
Got my hackles up.
Yeah. We're sharpening our claws. What's next?
How about okay.
Well, we've talked about that before too, the sidewalk thing. I think I've mentioned it, like as a smaller guy, I am very much not a fan of when some big, like tall meathead wants to make me step off the sidewalk because I'm small.
Yada yada.
There's plenty of room for both of us. I typically shoulder check the rib cage.
Okay, this one's an interesting one. Okay, clean your crumbs after eating. Sometimes that's impossible without proper, especially if you're at a restaurant or something. Sometimes I don't have the utensils to clean the crumbs properly.
You know what you do? You swipe them on the floor.
Well, see, that can be seen as like, here, I'm going to leave it for the help, and then like sweep it off to the side, and I don't want to be seen as that guy. But man, there's sometimes I've genuinely felt bad about like some crummy messes, but I did not have the means to properly cleanse them.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do with them?
Yeah, it wasn't rudeness. It was like, what am I gonna do? So
fair enough.
Well, but doesn't this go completely against what you said earlier about cleaning your plate? If they're saying you should clean up all crumbs, that's also saying you should clean your plate.
Fair point.
You only have crumbs. Yeah. Crumbs are what's remaining of the meal. What are those things called that when you go to fancy restaurants that they scrape off? It's like the home plate umpire. They scrape off the crumbs into the little metal thing.
Label.
I know Celia knows that.
Yeah.
It's not a dumbwaiter. A dumbwaiter is the thing that takes the food up, right?
It's a food elevator.
Yeah.
Celia, I know you're watching still. What are those things called where they come and we had one time. We found one. I think I got one at an auction, or your grandma had one or something, but like they sweep the crumbs from the table top into them at like fancy restaurants.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, she'll be. I know she knows what they are.
I'm sorry I have to go back to this one, but the next etiquette thing, I don't want to. We don't want to be hung up on the bathroom thing, but I just want to know who does this. It says, "Please flush when leaving the bathroom." Is there any non-child elementary school child that does that?
I mean, you see it in public restrooms all the time outside of schools.
Yeah, I wish I didn't.
Yeah, but I mean, so there are some people that do. I don't know. Do.
There. Thank you, Celia. Silent Butler is the name of that thing.
Why is that funny?
Sounds like a name of a movie. Silent Butler.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know.
So look it up, Aric. Google a Silent Butler, Aric, and show it to the world.
All right.
I bet Jeeves will pop up.
You've never seen a Silent Butler? It wasn't that long ago. I was at a restaurant that they used a Silent Butler. Might have been like Jeff Ruby's or something.
But
Josh.
Wait a minute. What did Josh? Oh yes. And I also think it is for people that are impressed by their handiwork and want to leave it to not prank others, but just to be
Double taper.
hateful. Well, they just want to be hateful. They want to ruin it for the next person.
Hey, Brady, on your, I think you commented one time this. Does yours, when you look at the chat, does it like all of a sudden just a bunch of comments disappear? Because like there were a bunch of comments. Oh, there were a bunch of comments after the easy fix no away games with Josh, and now they're all gone. And I see Josh, Savannah's, and then another Josh comment. That's all I have. And I know there were a bunch of comments.
Yeah, it's compacted. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
By the
strange.
way, while Eric's looking, I have a Silent Butler right here.
Well, there you go. I don't need to
I
put
thought
up
that
the image then.
Huh. To me,
So-
that looks like a fancy omelet pan.
So you take your thumb, you hold it under the table, you take your little broom and you sweep the crumbs in there. You close it and you carry the crumbs and you dump them in a sink so they can be wet in the water and make people sick. I assume this would be an ashtray too. Like you could use it for all kinds of things.
Yeah. Well, it's just why does it seem to be it's always in a restroom, like at a gas station or a rest area where people need the commerce conducting the most, so somebody has to like make it difficult and horrendous for everybody else.
I don't know.
It's not cool, man.
Gary, no one wants to touch that dirty flush handle. That's what your foot's for.
That's exactly what your foot's for. That's what I was going to say.
Actually, here's what you do, Gary. You take a dumbwaiter in with you, and you open it, and you put it around the flusher.
A Silent Butler.
And then the Silent Butler, yeah, not the dumbwaiter.
It would have to be a dumbwaiter to go in there. Sorry.
Do you see how I got Silent Butler and dumbwaiter mixed up, though? I mean, they're kind of like they're similar.
They are similar
groupings of words.
Let's see. Let others off of public transport before boarding.
Could also be applied to an elevator.
It is. It's right next.
Now that bugs me.
I don't see the elevator as much, believe it or not. But the public transportation, especially at tourist spots where there's trams or shuttles, they will trample toddlers and Civil War veterans that are injured in order to get there, and they won't even let people off the bus, and they're flying up those steps.
Yeah,
there should be a tasing for those people
because their time is more important than your time,
and they're tireder than you, and they're hotter than you, and they need to be back to where they're going before you.
Well,
you are a peon.
And it doesn't take long. I don't know. This is this will get us canceled, but it doesn't take long. So my daughter, last year, she's a senior this year. So last year she was a junior, and she went to Chicago, and she loved it. And she, they had a great trip and stuff. But she, her one take that she's constantly gone back to is, man, are all people like in inner cities like that so rude? And I say this to people who are inner city people, like when people are coming to visit and they come home thinking that, my gosh, those people in the city are rude, like that should make you think how you're treating people. You know what I mean? Like when a teenager who's there with a bunch of other teenagers notices the way that adults are acting in the cities, like, just chill out a little bit. Everybody's not there. You have people that are visiting. They want to see the good things about the city, not the crotchety, in a hurry.
I'm walking here, people.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But I thought that was very telling.
People who live there are probably annoyed by tourists.
Well, they might be. I'm sure it is somewhat annoying, but it's just, it's one of those things where you don't really think about it until people go, young people, and then when they come back thinking that, it's like, because I remember when I went to DC with my dad, riding the subway and stuff, and like Brady said, going up the steps, and it's like, I can't tell you how many times people like push me out of the way or ask me to move out of the way because they have to get to the same train that I'm getting on, or whatever. So it's like,
yeah,
there's just an air of like, I'm more important. Me getting there is more important than you getting there.
Ooh, Gary says it may be the city visitors that are rude.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I think we tend to. I don't know. I mean, maybe being rude unintentionally. You know what I mean? Like, but
I think Gary typed that and gave you a Judge Smales when he typed it.
I think he did too. I think he did too. Luckily, we're related.
Whoops.
I had something else to say. It was more important than what I just said, but then I went off that.
Well, I could kind of like give some credence to that a little bit. Like when I was in Mexico City and just walking the street, they're very wide sidewalks and they were jam packed. And I was just finally told, like, if I would bump into somebody, I'd say, lo siento, sorry. It's like, or excuse me. It's like, you don't have to. People don't take it personally because it's so crowded. People are just wandering their way through. But us Americans are kind of like personal space conscious. So, or like, sorry. And people are like, don't think much about it. So that kind of stressed me a little bit.
When I was in Mexico City, I never made it out of the airport bathroom long enough to go actually visit anything.
Yeah. Did you lock the door?
And there wasn't any doors. there weren't any doors.
Now, Gary, if Becky Fiscus is watching this, you'll get her dander up.
Get the
city
dander
visitors
up.
from Michigan, probably.
But all right, a couple more intriguing ones. Now this one was just dumb by the very essence of what it says. Don't gossip about someone who isn't present. Isn't that the very definition of gossip?
Yeah.
Because if you're gossiping about somebody who is present, that's no longer gossip. That's confrontation.
Exactly.
So, let's see.
What if you gossip? What if while you're mid gossip, you fully know? I mean, I think there's also something about being a realist. Like I am never under the impression that somebody's not gossiping about me. You know what I mean? I think that's the thing is when you're not when your self-awareness is so out of tune that you don't think that people are gossiping about you. I think that changes some. That changes.
Like
there's like
you think someone is always gossiping about you? Like,
no.
Always?
To me, that I don't mean that. I'm not saying like, oh, I feel so important that people are always talking about me. But I'm saying like, I'm not going to lie to everybody, our millions of fans out there, and say that I've never gossiped about people. But I also fully expect and know that people are gossiping about me at some point. You know what I mean? Like I think there's a touch of self-awareness that it doesn't make it right, but at least to me, there's nothing worse than someone who gossips but then thinks that they are untouchable when it comes to the gossip.
Yeah, and like Since we started this podcast, all the paparazzi and everything, the gossip and the privacy invasions are kind of like, just not being able to go to the store anymore without people taking pictures and following you around and wanting to know who
Well, now you know
you
how I
guys
live,
aren't.
Brady.
You guys aren't jumping in on this.
That's my life, Brady. I mean, I can't help it. I can't even go pick out a good cantaloupe without people taking a picture of me. I guess don't be a sloppy gossip. And by the way, the Sloppy Gossips would be a great band name.
Oh yeah,
Sloppity Gossipy.
yes. All right. One last one, because then, to be honest, some of these aren't.
And Eric's topic is about food, and we haven't talked about food in like an episode.
Yes.
An episode.
But we haven't talked about this type of food.
Yes, that's true.
I will say that.
Never assume a friendship means free favors.
Okay, go ahead, Aric.
I guess that needs some explanation.
Okay. So if you are friends with a contractor, hey, can you go up and fix my downspout?
You're talking about a friend who
musicians. Hey, can you play my cousin's wedding for free? Can you, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's fair, but to say any favors aren't free, I mean, that's.
I think fair. This one means somebody over. Fair.
I think that. I mean, I think that like you shouldn't. There's probably a blanket rule that don't expect anything, ever from anyone ever. But also, I think it's. On the other hand, like. I mean, there is something to be said about relationships and friendships about you should offer. You know what I mean? Like,
just because a friend makes an incredible peanut butter pie does not mean you should expect one.
Kirsten, we don't expect the peanut butter pie at all. Okay. But also, like, let's say that I am along the side of the road. My car broke down. I fall in the ditch and break my ankle. I should think I can.
Don't ask me for help.
I could probably call one of my friends and get a ride. I think you should. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't expect your friend to show up and say that'll be $14.50. Jump in and I'll take you. I'll take you home.
Yeah.
As I was gonna say, don't call me. You'll get charged 52 cents a mile. Federal rate.
Federal rate. Oh man. Like I said, I'm not being lame. We probably ought to go to Eric's topic because a lot of these are just kind of, say bless you when somebody sees. I mean,
I say gesundheit.
You know what? Can we bring up can we end this topic by bringing up a couple that we would add to the list?
Oh, sure.
I have an issue, and I even teach this to my kids, and I'm probably considered old school and mean by today's standards, but like, if I say good morning to you, it's proper to say good morning back.
Yes. Little kids
don't exactly do that. Good morning.
No, kids these days will just look you right in the eye when you say good morning to them and just going about their business. Yeah. And I know that we never know what they're going through. I get all of that, but the way I look at it, you're never going through anything to where you shouldn't be taught the lesson of reciprocating. That's not the word.
Well, even if it's a guttural grunt,
right? I mean, just a nod, a wave, and honestly, I think sometimes what I find is that after I've had a talk a couple times, like hey, like just let you know, like if and I don't make it about me. I'm like, if you're walking down the hall and another teacher says good morning, just say good morning back. You'll feel better, like that kind of thing. And usually, I find that once I have it usually corrects itself. I think a lot of times it's just they're not. It's morning time. They're tired. You know what I mean? We've all, and they don't have as much experience, obviously, as adults do. But it's one of those things where, like, parents teach your kids to say good morning. Like,
and on that note, this is related. So it would also be bad manners when you said that you when a student tells you you need to apologize for something. So, sorry, Ava. I apologize on the podcast. I've done. I have done my.
Oh, now there's a story.
Yes, it was some joshing in this.
A man named Brady.
Yeah, who was busy apologizing on the show. No, but no,
But
I
you'll be
did.
surprised how many adults. I mean, like adults that don't say good morning. Like, and I know we never know what someone's going through, and I'm not even saying that like a one and done type deal. But if it's a consistent, like, there are people that I open the door for that never say thank you. We talked about this earlier, the whole thank you thing. Like
Yes.
where is that? Why am I the one in today's society that's supposed to just accept that? Okay, I should do something for someone like that and not get a thank you, not get a smile, not get anything, and I'm supposed to do it. And I'm an asshole if I don't do it, but I'm an asshole if I expect to be thanked for it. How am I the asshole every single time? Gary, you're not allowed to comment here. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I open the door for someone. If I see them needing the door open and I don't, I'm going to be called the jerk. But then when I do it and they don't say good morning, I'm the jerk for thank you. I'm the jerk I expected them to say thank you. And I don't know what they're going through. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
Because we can all sing along, as Gary said. You're so vain. You probably think the gossip's about you.
I don't know. And I switched from talking about kids to talking about adults who are my age or older. Like, so I know my generation was taught to say thank you. What?
Adult.
I just don't get it.
I think of Popeye adult education.
Is there anyone listening? How many people we have listening?
10 right now.
Is there anyone listening right now that would ever purposefully think it's okay if someone opens the door for you not to say thank you? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just a matter of, well, if I feel like it, I should. I mean, I don't know.
I was chastised my freshman year at Ohio State for holding open a door for a lady.
Oh,
I can get it myself.
Yeah.
All right.
Like
so,
I was being some kind of knuckle dragging cretin.
Well, that leads us into another one we would add, and I don't know if it was on your list or not, and you just skipped over it. Holding the door open for people. Okay. What distance behind you is the proper distance to think I should hold the door open for this person behind me?
If there is a cat by your feet and you can underhand pitch the cat and it hits the person, you should hold the door open. If the cat lands on all fours, it scurries off. Like if the cat's not going to reach the person, you're in the clear.
So I will not name names, although I'm not sure I know the name right off the top of my head. But there's this person who was at Sons of Toil, and I was well within cat pitching range behind them. They open the door, and the door slams in my face. And to this day, this happened a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And it's not like I see this person a lot, but when I see this person, that's where my mind goes. You let the door slam in my face, and you had no self-awareness to think, hey, maybe I should be polite and hold this door open.
It would be therapeutic. You should walk up to them and knee them right in the grapes. And then...
Well, this person doesn't have grapes, away. I don't think.
Not even one grape?
Well, they're not visible. Let's put it that way. I don't think.
Let's see. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what would be an equivalent that could be disrespectfully intentional without being felonious.
Well,
clear out the old snot locker on them.
Snot locker.
what I would love for that person that way that both these situations, but I want to go back to what Brady said also about, because I've heard of that. I've heard of people. I don't know that I've had it happen to me. Maybe though, maybe once. But if I open the door for everybody, man, woman, child, beast,
Feline.
So there, I literally there's never been a time in my head where I've thought, oh, look at this lady coming here. She's so weak and there's no possible way she could push that door open by herself. I'm just going to do it for her because I know deep down inside I'm stronger than her. I'm better than her. I'm superior in every way. So nobody thinks that. Like literally nobody that's ever opened a door has thought that. So the fact that somebody on the other side of that is thinking, I bet that person holding the door for me thinks that they're better than me, stronger than me. Like I can't do it myself. I'm too weak to open this door. This little,
I'll tell you exactly what she was thinking. That man thinks that an independent woman can't open a door for herself.
And there's never been a man open a door for a person that thinks that. I can speak for all men when I say that.
I don't want to say never. I would say very, very, very few.
I'm not going to say okay, let me rephrase that. There are a lot of men that were just raised that you open the door for a lady, just like you walk on the outside of the sidewalk for a lady. You put your coat down over a mud puddle for a lady. We were all taught chivalry. We were all taught it's sexy, don't you think? We were all taught that. But I'm saying like nobody thinks it in the moment. Nobody says, "Oh, I need to get this because of I'm a male, she's a female," whatever it is. The point is, most of us open the door for anybody who needs the door open for them.
Yes.
And I've had a lot of men and women open the door for me as I'm walking into a place of business or something, and I've never once even considered why they're doing it. I don't know. I guess I just feel sorry for people that would think that in that split time you're walking in the door. But I have hopes for them. I have hopes that the next door they come to, they can't open. And then they do need somebody stronger than them that can not only open the door, but hold it open so it doesn't hit them in the ass on the way out or on the way in.
And if you were the person standing there, would you open it?
Yes, because I always do. I mean, I don't know. And I don't even want to say like it was the way I was raised. I don't remember having a lesson where my dad or my mom was like, okay, now listen, you stand here and you open it's just a thing you do.
All right. So
but I say that about the world in general. Like there's too many people that they want to put something where something's not. They want to start an issue with something where there's no issue. There's never been an issue with doors being open for people. Nobody's ever not like that until now.
A solution in need of a problem. Right. Okay. So the distance thing, here's what I do. I do not use the cat pitching theory.
Well, you don't know if there's a cat going to be around or not.
Well, that's true. May not have a cat available. I will open the door and I will make a cursory glance behind me. If I see no one in my peripheral vision, I go in. I don't turn all the way around. It's a cursory glance. If I see no one, I'm going in without holding the door. Is that fair?
Can I tell you what the international symbol for hold it up open is? And we've all had this happen. You've been at the door, and then the person that you see that's kind of distant, they quicken their pace like, hey, I'm jogging. You get there faster. Hold it open for me.
Yes. I have no problem with that because they're making the effort. They're making as much effort as you are.
Yes.
Aric, I have one question for you, Aric. Are you an owl? Are you an owl?
I told you I don't turn all the way around. It's a cursory glance, as any human being without neck problems can, as far as you can turn.
So you're admitting a blind spot.
I have quite a few blind spots right now. Yes.
Well, I'm saying before that, you're admitting that you have a blind spot. So there could be a very needy, small person who needs that door open in that little sliver of a blind spot that you have back there. So I think you need to turn all the way around.
This is why I bring the question to the forum.
Right.
I have often thought I'm looking for guidance. I'm not saying I'm right.
Let me say what I do. I walk in the door with my back facing the exit be outside. I turn and I do give a full frontal look to see if anyone is within. Now, but here's what I also do, and guys, you got to be quick, because if you have to see what they're doing. Let's say somebody is 50 yards out and they're finagling with their backpack in the back of a car, or their coat, whatever it is. You turn around. If they make eye contact with you, if they can see you at all, you got to stand there and hold the door for them. Well, if they are making an effort, like Brady said, to speed up, you have to hold the door for them.
Well, Gary said that, and that's why I feel my cursory glance theory is the best of both worlds. I'm making an effort to see if there's someone there, but I'm not holding the door open for humanity. I'm not standing there 10 minutes.
Well, I got
heating the outside, for goodness sakes.
Right.
I got stuck with that at Disney, because once I opened the door and held it for those people, it was like a deluge of people that made eye contact and smiled and locked me into commitment.
Yeah, I get that.
Because they're like,
you don't want,
and then
but
you got to
you
hold
want to
it.
know what else? And if you work at the same place long enough, these kind of things will turn up. Have you had people that you damn well know you've opened the door for pretty much let the door slam in your face?
Exactly.
I've had that.
And you got receipts, and you want to cash them in one time.
Yeah. Now let me preface this. My classroom is literally right by the door, so I often get stuck opening the door for people quite a bit, and I don't mind it. I mean, like, do I think I should have a secondary contract that pays me a little extra as the official door opener for that? Yes, I think so. But my point is,
so I have a Hillsborough School Board motion that Todd Griffin be hired on a supplemental contract as door opener in the fourth grade wing at Hillsborough Elementary.
Yeah. Well, the funny part of that is for years now, it's been better, but for years that door acted up anytime it got damp or cool outside, and people's fobs wouldn't work. So I literally would just sit down at my desk, and I would hear somebody trying to get in the door, and I'd have to walk over and let them in. And I often was like, either get the door fixed or pay me to stand here and open this door.
But at some point you have to claim seniority when people start getting replaced in your wing and take a different room.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know. I think some of these things, Aric, you've often said, I think you've said it, Aric, correct me if I'm wrong, but schools are the microcosms
of society.
Yes. And I have, a lot of people listening may disagree. But I happen to think that teaching in the modern education system is one of the most stressful jobs you can have right now. That's not me poo-pooing other stressful jobs. There are people that have a lot more stressful jobs than what we have. But it's different. All I can tell people is it's different than when you went to school. So I get that people are coming to work maybe frustrated, maybe tired, maybe leaving tired, but still, I don't think any of that calls for just the things like you said, the etiquette that we were raised that, hey, you open the door for someone, they open the door for you, you thank them, and you go about your business. I don't know. I'm old fashioned, but I don't think I'll ever stop believing that.
We could probably do a whole episode on staff refrigerator etiquette.
Well, I'm not going to say I haven't been known to leave a thing of food in the refrigerator that I've forgotten about. So
no,
I can't.
Pirates.
Oh, pirates steal it? I've never understood that either. How do you live with yourself?
I have had my snack stash pirated in my desk by a substitute before.
Got to put that in the locked drawer.
Right.
Let's just say there was no substitute left.
Here's how you handle that. And I'm not saying I remember this every time because I often forget, but I have in the past left some candy for the sub. If you leave a couple nice fun-sized, as Aric, I know you hate that term, Aric. If you leave a couple fun-sized Snickers or Milky Ways or M&Ms or something, and you leave a note and says, help yourself, but you really don't mean help yourself because you're only offering up what you're willing to give them. If I leave 3 fun-sized Snickers, I mean, keep your hands out of my Snicker drawer and eat the 3 Snickers I left here with the note that says
You
"Help
wanna know?
yourself."
You want to know how egregious this was? So I had my drawer of it would be my lunch snacks. So I had a pack of like a of oh good gosh, Sun Chips. So I had a package of Sun Chips, and there were 4 bags of Sun Chips that I left behind. There was 1 left when I got back.
1 bag or 1 Sun Chip?
1 bag, like a
Magazine.
gorged tick on a retriever. They took they pilloried my snack stash.
Pilloried. I love that word.
Thank you.
Not even a note? Not even a note left behind saying thank you for the Sun Chips?
Oh hell no.
Now,
What?
let me just say
Sun
this.
Chips
For those of
missing?
For those of you not in
Pretty.
education,
Yes.
for those of you not in education, there's a major substitute teacher shortage right now. So I'm thankful for every substitute that we have.
Unless they take my Sun Chips.
It's a very difficult job, but we probably could have a whole topic on substitute stories and things like that. I mean, even when I was a substitute and mistakes I made and stuff, but I don't want to do that. I don't want
substitute stories.
Right. Yeah. But I do find that if I leave them some candy, they'll stay out of my stuff.
I just had
but
no
I get it.
expectation.
Huh?
I had no expectation of that happening. I mean, I could not put myself in any, and I would have been like, if there was a note, it's like, hey, I took a bag here. Hey, that is fine. You helped that's fine. But the fact,
like I'm a diabetic, I needed sugar or something quickly. You know, it's like an explanation.
Yeah.
Like I needed that juice box because I know you have juice boxes in your desk. There's no way you don't have. There's no way you don't have juice boxes hidden. In
True
your desk.
story. One of my students, as a joke, like moved my juice box to see if I would notice.
Nice.
So Brady, here's how you deal with that. You leave candy, but it's X-Lax. You sprinkle your Sun Chips with Metamucil.
Hey, is Mrs. So-and-so still in the restroom?
Eric, we have a lot of comment. You want to get? I
was going to get to those. Yeah, we
I don't know.
We hit a nerve with the door holding. I believe,
and there's several comments on the door holding.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Here's one about saying good morning. We type good morning on Slack amongst our development team, North and South America, where we called each other out for it. Gary says,
as you should.
Yeah. Josh says, as far as door holding, distance depend on the person. Older person, the longer the door gets held. Agreed. Just like the giving up a spot in line, you defer to the elderly. Gary says you open the door with a Superman pose. Josh has a remedy to my problem. To get them back, speed walk around them to get to the door first, then let the door shut the next time. which that I may do that. And Gary says, and Todd said it as well. You make eye contact, you're stuck holding the door. And then Celia says, because I'm going to put this comment up because it kind of goes along with that. Making an effort, but not a big effort. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for adequate effort. I'm looking for effort.
Good enough.
Erase mid.
Good enough. You were cognizant of the people behind you, but not too far behind you. If that makes sense. So I'm making the cursory glance into my periphery. Yeah, again, even though my periphery at this point is a little shaded to one side, skewed, yes. But so that's why I'm looking for adequate. Laura says she has bad peripheral on her right side.
Good night.
She either has to turn her head or look straight on or turn around. So,
well, that you have a good excuse. Aric doesn't have a good excuse. Aric can turn all the way around.
what? I have bad periphery right now.
Again, but I assume this isn't something you just started.
No, it's not. But you said it yourself. You turn all the way around. There's a guy 100 yards back, and you make eye contact. Now you're committed.
Well, and then you have those people that are looking for the eye contact. They're looking for the eye contact so they can hold you accountable 5 minutes later when they walk up to the door after they collected all their snacks and things out of their car floor. And
here's the worst of both worlds. Okay, I turn all the way around. I make eye contact with the guy 200 yards beyond, and he does not quicken his pace. He does not make the effort.
He's in lot C at the airport, but he made eye contact. And he's
have you had this happen?
grudges.
They're literally walking towards you, and then they realize they forgot something in their car, and they go back.
You've lost it at that point. No, I'm not holding the door for that.
No.
Yeah, you've lost me. Gary says if more people come through, just fake a cough and step away. He said that in response to people rushing the door as you're holding it, like it happened to Brady at Disney World. Josh says, to add to all this, when is the proper time to hand off the door holding responsibility if a long line of people are entering? Okay, here is the elementary rule. You look behind you and you say, catch the door. That's how you hand it off.
You look for the first spouse of a lady. You make eye contact with him and you say, I'm handing this off. Do your job.
See, what I like to do
I'm looking at you, buddy.
Like that. I kind of like to do that with their kids. Like if a staff person has their kids with them, I ask one of them. Because here's the deal. You're teaching them the etiquette of holding the door for someone. And
you're
getting out of the work.
Get the darn door.
Right. So you're like, hey, buddy, you want to help me out here and be a big guy and hold the door for the next 27 people that are pulling into the parking lot right now? That's how you do it.
Yeah. Savannah says there's also people who can see a person struggling when they ask for help. They ignore them. For instance, I tried getting a 40-pack of water one day, and this guy came by and I asked for help, and he ignored me.
Oh, wow.
Then down the next aisle, he told an old woman to get it herself in reference to a 2-liter of Coke. Some people are just rude.
That's odd.
That guy should have been reported.
Yeah.
Wow. Gary says, I don't recall being told to walk on the outside of a sidewalk, but ingrained, if a car goes out of control, I wanted to be hit. I want to be hit. Just be my wife.
I
think maybe that's a typo.
Wife. Before my wife? Before my wife?
So you're wanting your wife to get hit?
I was going to say,
he's saying he wants to be hit. He wants to be hit just before his wife. I think he's making a joke. That's basically, and I will agree, if my wife and I are standing on the curb and I'm in front of her and a car comes speeding by, I'm probably not going to stop that car when it hits me. It's probably going to go ahead and take me and my wife out. But
I want to
at least you went
heels
out
in that concrete and stop that Mack truck, man.
So there's a reason.
Here's how I like to do it. I like to say, Celia, I need you to be on the outside, because then while the car's hitting you, I can get out of the way and beat up the person that hit you with the car. That's what I like to say. That's how I do it. So same way if you hear a sound at night. If you hear a sound at night, I send Celia, because I figure being the superior in strength, I have a chance of beating that person up while they're attacking Celia. That's my I'm kidding, people. Although I usually do send her.
Didn't we talk on the show about why the reasoning is that the men walk on the outside of the sidewalk?
Yeah.
Because people would no.
Grab and snatch.
No. People would empty their chamber pots out the window up top in old Europe. So the men walked on the outside of the sidewalk. So as they would get hit by the falling feces and not the lady.
Yeah. I'm afraid the epizootics hit my house. My kiddo just poked her head in the door. I hope we don't have the type A going on here.
Then you could be like, hey, babe, ain't shit hitting you today. I ain't letting shit hit you today, babe.
My brother-in-law about got hit, but I don't want to say it was the chamber pot, but it was the wash basin water. He was in Austria, I believe it was, as a college student, and funny story, because he's a saintly man, and when they dumped the water, he didn't know what to do, so he'd seen somebody do one of these numbers, and he did that, and the lady went off like you know.
That's funny.
I don't think I've ever done this seriously or in anger.
Celia says Brady should leave some of those special gummy bears for the food thieves. She also says, I'll never forget when a former coworker caught another staffer picking the chicken off her salad from the fridge with their bare hands.
Oh.
Now, Celia, you never know what that person's going through. It could be lacking chicken.
Their salad, that's what they're going through.
Josh says, mix in bean boozled jelly beans to deter candy thieves.
Isn't that interesting that Celia and Josh had this? I think they had kind of the same mind, the same thought there. Yeah. Josh, you're talking about the bean boozled, which those are gross. And then Celia's talking about our episode where we did the reviews of the fat-free or whatever
sugar-free gummy bears
and the
our most listened to episode
intestinal distress that they caused.
Episode 28.
Yes,
we should revisit that episode, not in a way of releasing it. We should literally do those topics again and read all those again.
All right, I think that's pretty much all the comments.
We could do it the Disney style. We could do do episode 28 and then bring in 3 ladies to replace us.
So yeah, I wonder if that was the same guy that Savannah was talking about.
So what's the story behind that? Working on a dock.
I
haven't made a dock joke in a long time. The way I took it was that Celia was loading a case of water or something like that, and a guy walked by and told her that she looked strong and that she would make a good dock worker.
Yeah.
Can I get? Do I say it? I bet everybody says that about you, Todd. Or
oh yeah.
So,
no, it wasn't me. It was Celia.
Oh shoot!
So was she supposed to take that as a compliment?
I don't think many women would.
I mean, did the guy mean it that way? I was like,
who knows? Who knows?
He was just probably complimenting her on her strength. He wasn't mean to make her feel like a longshoreman.
I think he was. He was complimenting her on her sheer determination to get the case of water under the, which is a hard thing to do, to get the water under the, in the
cart. Yeah.
The bottom part of the cart.
All right. So I would say we leave my topic for another time at this point.
Works for me.
I think this topic went the way I thought it would go. I thought it would cause great consternation amongst us, which I feel we are at our most entertaining when we
when we get our kerfluffle and our danders up.
So I have to say this. I just saw this headline on Fox 19. And this would be a fun topic too, like a live on the spot, like go to Fox 19's Facebook page and look at the headlines and see if, but you got to be careful because I don't want people to think we're making fun of any situation.
Yeah.
And especially something as serious as murder. But listen to this headline. Man arrested in deadly shooting of friend who said he could dodge bullets. Now, again, I don't want to make light of somebody's life being lost, but who's the bad friend here? I mean, if I say, hey, guys, I really want you to shoot at me because I think I can dodge bullets, and I need to see if I need to show you guys I can dodge bullets, and then you shoot at me, and I can't dodge said bullets, and the bullets hit me, who's at fault?
So what's the chances there were intoxicants involved here?
I bet they did not say, hold my juice box. That was not probably said.
Probably not.
We did the Florida Man episode was it where I read the Florida Man the Florida Man headlines, and it's just like man arrested for throwing alligator through drive-through at Wendy's and things like that, and
well, that's just good fun.
Oh man,
I mean, so again though, I mean, I haven't clicked on the story yet, but just looking at the headline. Obviously, the person who shot his friend is guilty.
Yes.
But also, do you have to kind of say it a little bit? The guy, I mean, that like
he asked me to.
Just
because your friend jumps off a bridge.
There you go.
Yeah. So say you said so. He told me I looked like I was a good worker and I didn't mind hard work. Well, say he's right about that. You are a hard worker.
Yeah.
You don't mind hard work. So he was just complimenting you.
Yeah. That's fair. That's a compliment.
Now, had he asked you to put his water and pop in his cart, that would have been something different.
Yeah.
Or something to the effect of, "Man, look at those forearms.
Look at those hairy knuckles." Gary has a good. Gary, I like that.
Yeah, again, if you can't trust your friends, you shouldn't go to jail, Gary says.
Look at those hairy palms.
Goodness.
Gary has a good point there. Charged with, I'm assuming that's murder, but he won $5, which is the important thing. You win the bet.
Larder.
But I like Gary's idea there. It's so he says that would be interesting for you to remake an entire episode with just the same prompts to see how you've evolved or not. That would be fun to do.
I would say not if I were.
Oh, I don't know about that.
We're still 13 years old.
Now the historian could probably tell us how close we were to the previous episode.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So, for instance, like if you listen to earlier episodes, you would hear Brady give an entirely different reason why he leaves handles on his plates from tonight's episode.
That's a fact.
I've given 3 different reasons, and all are true. They can be true simultaneously.
That's right.
It's quantum rule making, where they can simultaneously hold a space and be true.
So is this guy charged with larder in Fairbairn, Ohio?
Fairbairn for shooting his.
Then he threw his beef and his barely soup.
Hairy barely soup.
He hardly felt it.
Hairy beef barely. So we're driving the other day, and I'm like, so this is funny. I got to tell this story real quick. This is how my mind works. For anybody, do we have anybody in the room still? If you are in the room still, I'm thankful, but I also apologize. So we're driving around. So again, we're at Wright State. It's one of those deals where you drop your kid off, they're doing their thing, and then it's time for the parents to go kill time in some way. So we decided we were going to go have lunch. So we see this place, this Wandering Griffin, and I thought, hey, we're Wandering Griffins. We should probably try it. So we
was calling out to you. Hey, right. Wandering Griffins.
So we drive over it, and then I see the water tower, and I see Fairbairn, and I'm like, I told Sam, like, I got to get a picture of that and send it to Aric and Brady. So like I try to stop at like and it stops, and then there's like somebody behind me, like, oh crap, so I got to go. So there's a Lowe's there, so I pull into the Lowe's, and I pull over, and I get a good shot of the Fairbairn water tower, and below closer to me, up in front of me, there are 2 guys that are standing by a truck having a conversation. They keep looking at me as I'm aiming my phone out there, taking a picture. And I'm like, well, crap, they're going to think I'm taking a picture of them. And then I'm like, why would these 2 guys be all the way at the back of a Lowe's parking lot? Is it like a drug deal?
Oh.
So then I'm thinking in my head, so now they're thinking that I've got evidence of their drug
They thought you were a narc.
Yeah, I thought I was a narc. And I'm just trying to get the weather terror of the Fairbairn. And I got my cell phone out the window. and so then I'm like, well, crap. So I get the picture. I snap it as I'm driving off, and I go and I stop my car and I'm looking at my picture and I'm like, and I'm trying to look at it, and then says like, you might want to leave because this car, I was blocking another car that was trying to back out of their parking lot, and it was a white Jeep of some sort, a white car. So and I didn't realize I was blocking them. So
being the wandering griffins you were,
right. So says,
get out of the darn road.
Yeah. So says like, I think these people are mad at you. They want to get out. So then I move out, I pull, and then I drive right by the two guys that I just were taking a picture of me. And then so I pull out of the Lowe's parking lot onto the road, and I look in my rearview mirror, and I'm getting ready to go over to the Wandering Griffin because we had seen that before I saw the Fairbairn sign. And then I look in my rearview mirror, and there's a white Jeep behind me, like close to me. And I'm like, oh crap, that's the person that I was blocking in the parking lot. So I told Say, I said, well, here's a lesson. I said, if somebody's behind you and they're angry, don't ever pull over, because if people are stupid, like they can have road rage, they can have a gun, right. Who knows? And so I pull into the Wandering Griffin. They pull into the Wandering Griffin.
Oh.
They come up behind me again. I'm like, I can't park. I'm not going to get jumped in the parking lot of the Wandering Griffin. So I pull back out the other road of the Wandering Griffin. And I go out on the road. And I come back around and I see, okay, well, that car's parked there, but their lights are still, and they're sitting in their car. They're going to realize, because I have my license plate is very easy to remember. Because it's based on our band. And so I'm like, I'm going to make a couple laps until they're out of their car in the restaurant. Well, so I make a couple laps and they never get out of their car. They're just sitting there waiting. I'm like, well, now I can't go to the Wandering Griffin because that person is mad at me because I was blocking them in while taking pictures of the drug deal that was going down. So I had this whole scenario in my head of what was going to happen. Some might call me a coward. I just look at it as don't put yourself in a bad situation. So anyway, finally Saya says, Todd, that was a whatever type of car behind you. That wasn't even that car right there. So the whole time I've been dodging and not wanting to pull into the parking lot and get out because a white car, but I didn't realize it was a different white car. So that's my story. So yeah. So all of that, we were
all
like 15
for
minutes.
Fairbairn.
Right, for Fairbairn. It started because I was trying to send you guys a picture of the Fairbairn water tower. And then I told Sam, like, here's the thing. I said, nobody else in the world thinks this is funny, but Aric, me, and Brady about this Fairbairn stuff.
And I'm willing to die for that humor.
That's right.
I got somebody mad at me taking a picture, but they probably know what I was taking it of. So I happened to be in Springboro, Ohio. And I'm driving by, and I pump the brakes because I see it, and I'm correct. And I had to take a picture of it. And it was a law office. John E. Shorts, attorney at law in Springboro, Ohio. And I took a picture. It's real. His name was Johnny Shorts, attorney at law.
You better be good with a name like that.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, if you're listening, Johnny Shards,
we'll take sponsorships.
Yeah,
and I have a slogan for you. There for you when the sharts hit the fan.
Oh, hey, I got it. There for you when the sharts hit the stand. There you go.
Yes.
Courtroom lingo. Yes, yeah, I confused a Lexus for a Jeep. I'm from Brown County. I don't know the difference.
All right, so now I have to tell a story. Something similar to what happened to Todd. So we're headed to a church for a visitation. I don't remember that the church is as near to me as it is.
Yeah.
This minivan in front of me, as you know, I have a bit of a road angst problem, which sometimes turns into rage.
Oh. Can I interrupt you real quick? So the other day at that same trip, I was pulling into a thing, and my inner Aric came out, and I pull up and I stop, and I'm waiting, and nobody's going, and says like, "Are you even supposed to stop here?" And you know what I said?
Incoming
traffic does
not stop. Asshole. Oh. Yeah. But I was the asshole.
Anyway, this minivan is not going at the rate of speed that I would like. So I get into a situation in which I could pass said minivan. Well, as I pass said minivan, kid you not, 0.2 of a mile, there's the church. And I thought, well, I didn't remember the church being so close here, but I'm going to pull in. And well, actually, the first thing that went through my mind is, I hope this guy's not going to the visitation.
Where there might be a second one.
Which thankfully he wasn't. But as he went by, of course, he laid on the horn, and I'm thinking, yeah, I deserve that. I did not give the wave, however. I did not do that because that just pisses the other person off more.
Yeah. Did you get thumbs up is what I like to, or thumbs down is what you should have given.
Well, then that means you may disagree with him.
Right.
I actually agreed with him doing that because I would have done the same thing. It's okay.
I can't imagine through clenched teeth you didn't call him an asshole.
No.
Really?
I had no leg to stand on in that situation. None.
I mean, before you found out you didn't have a leg to stand on.
Oh, when he was laying on his horn? I knew why he was laying on his horn.
Oh, gotcha.
I knew it as soon as I turned my turn signal on it. First of all, I'm hoping this guy's not going to pull in behind me. And secondly, the horn went, and I thought, okay, yep, I deserve that.
When I think of my childhood and I think of like my teen years, why does that oncoming traffic does not stop asshole? That is one of my most vivid memories. And I don't know if I was ever there for it live and in person, or it was always said about you that you said that. I don't know if I heard the original
cadence and delivery. And it's not HOLE, it's HO Hall. It's not incoming traffic does not stop, comma, asshole. It's incoming traffic does not stop, asshole. The emphasis is on the wrong syllable.
So did I ever see it live? Is that, or am I just remembering stories?
I can't imagine you didn't see it live.
Oh, I mean, we would say it every time if nobody was coming. Because even if nobody was around and we thought our friend driving was pausing just a little bit too long or hesitating. Because those who hesitate, they
oh. So, real quick, if you're still listening,
I wish everybody could join us on a trip.
If you're still listening, what we're talking about is like, let's say Eastgate Mall or any mall entrance. When you're entering the road that goes around Eastgate Mall.
Can I be real specific? Yeah. When you're coming in the area, you're going past what used to be where Wendy's was, and Toys R Us is on the right, and you're going by Charlie's, and you're heading toward the actual mall itself.
Which is, I think, when I heard it, was that the original? Was that the origin of that right there?
Oh yeah,
yes.
But the sign
that said that. Well,
I wish we would have had the nerve to go spray paint the last part on that sign. I know. I have to get a custom made sign for my basement now that says incoming traffic.
So on that note, I statute of limitations probably run out by this point. So in our sign purloining days, I'm not sure why we never went after that one. Look at Brady making a face.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There were never any signs purloined that would harm anybody. You never stole a stop sign or anything like that. They were merely informational signs.
Right.
Like incoming traffic test.
Actually, there may be people listening right now that didn't know that. So Aric's telling you that if you're pulling into that type of area, you don't stop, because you'd be surprised how many times people do stop.
Yes.
Hence the reason for the tongue lashing.
Well, because the sign was right there and they would still stop.
Matter of fact, there were two signs. There was one on each side of the road. And they would still stop.
Yeah.
Mere teenagers. Mere teenagers knew, but the adults didn't.
Say his comments right. I'm pretty sure our kids even say that when they come to a stoplight. I'm pretty sure they do.
Wonder where that came from.
I have no idea.
So I have now poisoned 2 generations of youth with that.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that was one of my fondest memories of you driving, and then the other one is your. You're right. I mean, again, you're not wrong in any of them. It's just funny how passionate you are about them, and that is the when you're the 32 when you're not knowing which.
That gets. I had a road. I mean, it would have been a road rage. I had somebody that put me and my daughter's lives at risk because they were driving like an anus. And I wanted to say something so bad, so he cut me off. And then she looked over and was looking at me with those eyes. It's like, Father, are you going to sully my ears with poor language? And I just looked like I was just like I was doing that grumble thing under my breath because I was holding it back.
I'm a terrible parent, Brady, because my kids will look at me if I didn't and say, "Dad, are you not going to? Are you not going to?
Are you not going to hurl?
You have to acknowledge that
invective at that person."
Well, Gary, I'm going to be honest with you, Gary, and I'm not just saying this because it fits. I remember back, even as young as when I first started hanging out with these guys and like riding around to where, I mean, would have been close to the time I was starting to drive my own. I remember thinking that there could be, Aric, if I can play devil's advocate, like Gary is here, there could be some confusion as to who the sign. I know the sign is pointed here, but maybe someone could see the sign and think that incoming is people going around the loop.
And there is no way. No, that cannot be argued. First of all, there's no way to see that sign from being at the stop sign on the other side.
No, the sign isn't. I think what Gary's saying is the sign isn't for the people at the stop signs. The sign is for as you're entering. It's telling you that incoming. Like I could see a little confusion there the first few times you see it.
Well, they can't be incoming if they're already on the loop.
Exactly,
they're just coming.
Where you?
But they're right.
they're already there.
They're outgoing if they're depending on But I see what Gary's saying. I can see some confusion at first, but it happens nonstop. If you were to go right now, if you were to get in your car right now and drive over, you would see people doing that.
Yeah.
And we would still be saying,
incoming traffic does
not stop. In that exact same way.
On Savannah.
Oh, and she is.
Yeah.
So Savannah drives like it's NASCAR on the highway. She's a live version of that swearing Elmo video.
Swellmo,
yeah. Hey, Swellmo. It should say, "You don't stop." Yes. Another little tangent.
Yes.
All right. Anything else, gentlemen?
No, but
we should have an entire episode called Tangents, and we can just.
And you know what would end up happening? We would talk about the same thing all night, right on target.
Well, that's exactly. But what I would like to do this for an episode, and maybe we can put it out there and see if we can get some help. I would like to do an episode where we literally come to the table with nothing, and have the audience pick a topic, or make a comment, make a post, and we all just talk.
We could do that. We could do that.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
that would be fun and less work for us.
Right.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that next week. Oh, we have your topic.
Well, I mean, that can be anytime, but
anytime.
All right. On a serious note, Savannah says some extra prayers for her family. Her dad's oldest sister is dying, and all prayers would be appreciated, certainly.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Praying for the comfort of your family. All right. Anything else, gentlemen? Gentlemen?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I'm going to be
good.
honest with you. I spent the entire day thinking this episode was going to be tomorrow. So, and I don't know why, because it was very clearly stated in our text messages that Tuesday was the only day you could do it, Aric. But for whatever reason, what the funny thing is, I had just texted. So right now I'm in the middle of our band break, and I'm working most every evening, and then as many weekend hours as I can on the our spring musical set. I somehow turn into a person that knows how to use a drill and tools and stuff like that, and I don't use any other time of the year. But anyway, I had just texted we call it the Dab Brigade. That's what we call ourselves. I had just texted and I said, here's the deal. I said, I can work tonight, but Wednesday I can't work, because I was thinking we have the podcast Wednesday and I had a couple other things after school I needed to do. And literally after I sent that, one of you guys sent a text, something about tonight's episode. So I wasn't ready for tonight, but tonight was kind of the medicine I needed. It's been a long couple weeks. Like I said, I've been working a lot of long hours after my regular job. And my regular job, then I work 3-4 hours. I'm just been tired and worn down and stressed. So this is therapeutic. Not only saying that to you, gentlemen, but everybody else who's chiming in. This is therapeutic for me anyhow. I mean, to get on here and it was neat because it was unexpected. I was planning on it tomorrow. So,
amen.
Now I don't need it tomorrow.
Yep. So I'm just warning you what's going to happen due to on Saturday. I told Aric I'm going to a concert, and I was invited along as a last minute addition, and I'm going to Indianapolis to see Billy Joel and Sting. And I was going to wait.
William Joel.
I'm going to wait till he starts playing Englishman in New York, and I'm going to live stream it right to your guys, and you're going to see me cutting a rug like nobody's business.
You can't even put an indentation in a rug to that song. You let alone cut it.
Fair enough. Agreed.
You can't even put a footprint in a rug. Well, Brady, it's interesting because I'll be in Muncie, Indiana on Saturday, which is only about an hour south, I believe, of Indianapolis. Yeah. I will be at Ball State, which is my son's favorite college to talk about just because of the name. He's still a teenager.
Is there more than one campus? That makes it even better.
Well, there are two side by side.
Under a dome.
Yeah. It ain't much distance between them. You guys, you did that to me. I was ready to say something very nice.
I heard their president got sacked, though.
Well, I mean, you'd have to be nuts not to go visit the campus.
Do we break the
Oh.
All right. So what I was going to say, though,
we lost one person out of the room now.
Yeah, they lost out on that. That was comedy gold, people. No, but I'll be at Ball State. So did you know, though, that Ball State, you might not have known this, little education to end the episode. So Ball State was founded by the Ball brothers.
The glass jar people?
The glass jar people. Yes.
Oh.
So how would you like to be the people who are known for glass jars and a college? Those guys had their mitts on everything.
So they were the ball jar people.
Yeah.
Well, I heard their president got canned. I got 1 million of them.
Microphone took a tumble.
It can't hold up to this kind of comedy we offer at any given time. You think we're done? You think we're tired? You think we're signing off? And we hit you with some more.
I've got podcast polio, though. I'm going to have to get I'm sitting in this chair. No, I said podcast polio.
I forgot about the episode we talked about the shit
polio. Now we're back up to 10.
All right, we brought it back in. So what's the deal with shithouse polio?
Oh, now you're just gonna watch us wheeze for 3 minutes while we're trying to get out of
Oh. I think we've reached slap happy stage.
Yeah.
Good. I think this is what my daughter means when she says, "Dad, I try to watch the show, but you're embarrassing."
Yeah, that would be it. Well, now we're down to 5.
Oh my goodness. We lost half of our audience with that joke.
Yeah, that joke took half out. Yes.
Oh.
So with that, we
All
better
right.
call it a night.
We know we've worn out our welcome.
Yeah. Follow us on our social medias up there. Facebook, X, and Instagrams. Watch us, like us, subscribe to us, all that stuff on Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Twitch, and Rumble, and iHeartRadio, and the iHeartRadio app. Gary says this is one of the all-time jewels.
Thank you, Gary.
This is an instant classic, according to Gary. I told you we're at our most entertaining when we're curmudgeonly and cootish.
Cootish?
Cootish.
Cootish or cootish?
Cootish. Cootish. Curmudgeonly. And whatnot. All right. Anything else for the good of the order, gentlemen?
Nope.
All right. Take us out.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we